A couple of days ago, Bronny James set the high school basketball community on fire and got everybody's attention because he made his sophomore high school debut. This wasn't a hyped up or anticipated debut because nobody really knew he was going to play until right before the game. However, once people did find out he was playing, it was big time news, and not just for the fact and reason that he was playing. It wasn't just his first game of the year, it was also Sierra Canyon's championship game against Corona High School. So with or without Bronny, it was going to be a big game overall, but it got even bigger because Bronny's dad, LeBron James, and Drake showed up. There were some other notable names that made an appearance, but for the most part, that's all everybody was talking about. If you were one of those players on either team, I'd say it's pretty cool to tell your kids one day that you played in front of Drake. Yes, it's cool to play in front of LeBron, but he's going to be at many more games. It's not every day you see Drake go to a high school basketball game. We made a video talking about that game, so if you want to go check it out, you can do that for yourself. I'm not going to bore you with all the details of the game. With that being said, after reviewing the game and looking at the film, and even after the game, I didn't think much was going to come out of this. But as much as I hate to say this, it appears to seem that now, as to when I'm speaking, that Bronny James has a problem at Sierra Canyon. I will be referring to this as a slight problem, but some people think it's much bigger than that. I'm very curious, let me know what you think about this situation in the comment section, so let's get into it. When it was all said and done for the game, Sierra Canyon did wind up getting upset and they lost somewhat surprisingly 80-72. The other team was really good and both of the teams were good, so it wasn't a major upset, but it was somewhat an upset. You know, I could sit up here and beat around the bush, but let's just be honest, nobody cared about the outcome of the game really. All people were caring or even wondering about was how Bronny was going to do. And in the video that I made roughly 2 days ago, I referred to it and said that Bronny was quote unquote a non-factor in this game, and I still stand by that. Saying Bronny was a non-factor isn't saying he played bad. All I'm saying is that he didn't make that much of an impact. I really don't even think it's up for debate. He wound up playing roughly 15 minutes and scored 7 points. I'm not too big into numbers, but if you break it down, that's under 0.5 points per minute. And then you can do even more math. If he would have doubled his minutes, he would have scored roughly 14 or 15 points. The reason I think he is a non-factor is because Sierra Canyon, they're a loaded high school team. I think anybody on that bench, if they would have played 15 minutes, they could have gave you 7 points. I understand that points aren't everything, but it's 2021. You gotta wake up and realize that they are one of the biggest things to talk about, and nobody cares about defense. You're gonna have defensive players here and there, but not really for high school and even college basketball. Overall, for the entire game, I didn't think Bronny was average or mediocre. I thought he was really solid, and he was good. Me saying he was a non-factor, some of you think that's all on him, but that's necessarily not the case, and especially for this situation. After looking at some of the film even more, I noticed that he was open multiple and several times and they didn't pass on the ball. I'm not going to put the blame on his teammates because that was their first time playing with Bronny in a long time, so communication, it wasn't 100%. I do want to say that though, they weren't throwing him the ball a lot, and most of the times Amari Bailey, let's just be honest, he's somewhat a ball hog. There's nothing wrong with really being a ball hog in high school because most of your 4- and 5-star recruits, they are. Let me backtrack on that statement. Me saying he was a ball hog, that's overdoing it. What I'm trying to get to and say is that he always needs the ball in his hands and he's very ball dominant. I don't know anything about Sierra Canyon's coach, but I feel like they run the offense through Amari Bailey and that's it. They weren't really running it through Bronny or anyone else. I think Sierra Canyon as a team, they're very one-dimensional. I know what some of you are saying, Matt, that's just one game, but I'm not just referring to that game. There was games before Bronny got hurt where it was the same thing. Bronny isn't a good basketball player. He's a great basketball player, and I've never understand why Sierra Canyon's coach puts him in the corner to spot up for threes almost half of the game. Bronny is a point guard and he has some of the best vision out there. I'm not even a LeBron fan, but that dude LeBron in the NBA, he has great vision and he's a great passer. And so is Bronny. So why in the world does he not have the ball in his hands at least half of the game? Makes zero sense. And if you want me to be 100% honest, it's disrespectful to how good he is. I don't care that it was his first game off an injury and it's his first game back. He got cleared for a reason. That means he was 100% able to go and able to do everything. Before I get carried away, I want to say this. That's what I think is his slight problem, but some people think it's much bigger than that, like I said. I thought originally Bronny going to Sierra Canyon was a great fit. He was going to be under a great coaching staff, and he was going to play with other great players and learn how to play with them. But now, after roughly 2 years of action, I'm not so certain. I also saw this too, and this is just your casual fans being casuals. They were making fun of him because he didn't start. Here's my problem with people saying that. How do you know enough to understand and realize he didn't start, but also not know that it was his first game off of surgery? I don't know, blows my mind, but let's take a look at this comment from the video I posted 2 days ago. This person said, "It was actually annoying to see Bronny get so limited touches. He was open on the wing the entire time he played, but instead everyone at SC preferred to go 1-on-5, including Amari." He then said how Amari scored a lot, but he took a lot of shots, and that's literally exactly what I'm talking about. I just saw this comment and it's perfectly describing what I said. Somebody wrote a comment kind of getting mad that I called Bronny a non-factor, and CK said anybody would be a non-factor if no one was passing them the ball. That's what I'm saying 100%. I'm not saying he's a non-factor because he played bad, but he was a non-factor because they didn't give him the rock. Back on track with the main topic of the video, we need to discuss this. As a freshman, Bronny wasn't producing that much, and it was understandable. And as a sophomore, he only played in 1 game, so there's not that big of a sample size. But in that 1 game, it was similar to his freshman season. He didn't get the ball a lot, and when he got the ball, he was somewhat efficient. Going into next year, though, there's no reason for me or you or anyone to believe that Bronny's going to be the main point guard on that team and have a change of roles. And you want to know why Bronny might have a problem next year? Is because Amari Bailey isn't a senior this year, so he's going to be coming back for another year. And if you think Amari Bailey is going to take a back seat to Bronny James at the point guard position, you are sadly mistaken. Amari's role next year will be the same as it's been the past couple of years. He's going to get the ball a lot, he's going to shoot a lot, and he's going to score a lot. This is high school, not college or the NBA. You don't have as much time as these other levels. So therefore, you don't really have an opportunity for 2 guys to average over 25 or 30 points per game. Only 1 guy can carry the load. If Amari was a senior and he'd be leaving, yeah, we'd be having a completely different conversation. Unfortunately, next year, I think it's going to be very similar to the past couple of seasons. Bronny's going to be the Robin to the Batman, and he's going to be 2nd or 3rd option. There's not a problem with him being the 3rd or 2nd option, because if he was the point guard, that's what it would be overall. But the problem is, and I really want you to focus on this, and it's why I'm emphasizing it, is that he doesn't get the ball a lot. So if he is going to be that 2nd, 3rd, or 4th option, he should at least be point guard so he can dish out the ball. And as good as Amari Bailey is, I'm not taking anything away from him. He's a fantastic basketball player. And this conversation wouldn't be brought up anywhere else unless you are a teammate of Bronny's and you're getting most of the shine. Nobody wants to go see Bronny play and see Amari take 20 to 25 shots every single game. They want to see Bronny get involved. Me personally, maybe you feel different about it, but I've never liked how Sierra Canyon has used Bronny for the past 2 years. It's almost like this. What's the point of having a Ferrari in your garage if you're going to drive the Toyota every single day? Why have a 4 or 5-star recruit in Bronny if you're not even going to use them? Makes 0 sense to me, and I didn't even think too much about it until after the game and what people were saying. I don't even see Bronny transferring to fix the solution, so I think that's out of the window. But in order for him to shine and live up to the hype and his potential, he needs the ball more, and that's on the coaching staff. And when you really sit down and think about it, there's almost no excuse to losing when you have Amari and Bronny on the same team. I think this will be a very important offseason for Sierra Canyon because the coaching staff needs to sit down and break down how they can use Amari and Bronny together efficiently in equal amounts. It shouldn't be the Amari show every single night. It can happen some nights, but Bronny should at least be the main guy. Or not the main guy, but I think Bronny should be the main ball handler. That's what I'm trying to say. Because Amari's a way better scorer than Bronny. Bronny's a great passer, Amari's a great scorer. So make Bronny the 1 and Amari the 2. It's fairly simple. If I was a coach, all I'm going to say, we definitely go 40-0. Easy. We're going to run the Michael Jordan special, give the ball to Bronny, and get the F out of the way, ISO the entire game. On a serious note, I did find this to be an interesting debate and topic. I'm very curious. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section. But with all that being said, that's going to wrap up this video. Hope you boys and girls enjoyed. Hope you learned something. If you're new to the channel, what are you doing? Quit picking your nose and hit that red subscribe button and leave a like for more. And as always, let's be great. I'm out, y'all. Road to 5 milli. Peace.